There's the other member.
Wow. So much. So much has been getting out here. Kodak. Color 200. That might have been it. Well, the other thing you can do is just keep the whole thing and let them find it. You gotta go with yellow and green contrast.
Sally. Right side. Sally, Cindy has her hair long up her
Good.
Congratulations.
I want just kind of lime green and that neon art. Just kind of walk around.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Sleeves fish.
Hey.
Wait, don't step back. All you need is
Pretty good guys right there.
you just walk off with your camera and then go back a couple years in a row. And they got the books there. They have these. They don't really have it, but they had it printed what you graduated from. So it just said come out. And I'm like, oh.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Cuba. And so they're reading your name. And I was like, I get up there and it's silent. The guy's trying to figure out what the card is. And it's about halfway coming. And my pulse like that. All right.
Laura, we'll meet you here after the ceremony, right here.
I'm not admitted yet. They still haven't gotten around to admitted.
You may be seated. Members of the class of 1991. Faculty of the law school and the university, families of our graduating class, and friends of the university. It is with the utmost pleasure that I welcome you here today for one purpose, to celebrate the graduation of the class of 1991. I think this is the largest gathering of family and friends of any law school class that I can ever remember, and we're just delighted to have you. The law school faculty as a whole only meets with the entire class twice during the 3 years that they are here at the university. These two meetings are like bookends. We first meet with the class at a convocation to note their arrival. And we now meet with the class a second time to end their time with us and to celebrate the time-honored academic rite of passage called graduation. This particular class arrived during a hot and sultry summer of 1988, but the faculty at once put you to work. And we put you to work in many areas of new vocabulary and concepts. I asked the class, do you recall that in your first week of law school that it could take you 30 minutes to read a single page in some legal opinions because of all the demands of that new vocabulary and those new concepts? Well, it certainly has changed since that time, I know. But if I could take you back a minute, you might recall that we in your text introduced you to such legal lexicon as details, springing and shifting executory interest, the writ of mandamus, pendant and ancillary jurisdiction, trespass on the case, res ipsa loquitur, and that most famous of all legal personae, the reasonable man. Was it startling for you to learn that the common law of England had been laboriously built around such a mythical figure? But in addition to enlarging your vocabulary in those first few days and weeks, the faculty also set about making you think like a lawyer. Or some outside the profession might call it thinking perversely about almost everything. It may be less than ironic that one of the first subjects to which you are introduced in the first year is the subject called torts. Now, this branch of the law deals with civil wrongs for which actions for money damages may be brought in a court. But our professional detractors may delight in remembering that the word tort comes from the Latin word torcere, meaning twisted. And so an awful lot of legal thinking seems to be. It's true, we the faculty have created a great deal of chaos in your life, even disappointments at times and heartache during these last 3 years. But even if not chaos for some of you, I know that we've placed in front of all of you at least many obstacles and certainly many large tuition statements from the bursar's office. Not the least of the obstacles before you was the Socratic method of dialogue in your first few weeks of school. This system had the inevitable consequence of making every law student hate the sound of his or her own name when announced aloud in class. But you have stayed the course with us between the summer of 1988 and today, and because you have done so, and have done it so very well, we the faculty joined the class of 1991 this last time to celebrate with you and your families and friends this wonderful achievement. Let us proceed now to recognize formally your success by the presentation of your diplomas, It is true that 11:05 a.m. this morning, University President Keith Brody officially conferred your degree, but we're a small law school and we have the luxury of being able to recognize each of you individually in our last time together. I ask Senior Associate Dean Robert Mosteller and Registrar Sally Austin to come forward and join me in making these individual presentations. Juris Doctor. Cynthia Francine Adcock Steffi. Susan Marie Akers. Juan Francisco Alemán. Who is also receiving the LLM degree. Who is also receiving the LLM degree. Dagenhart Fennell. Marcella Adrian Ferrari. Carolyn Robin Clam. Sean Eric Platt. Holly Barr Flint, who is also receiving the LLM degree. Ellen Freeman. John Marie Dutrell. Lynn Marie Gall. Stanley Martin Gibson. Robin Catherine Murray Hill. Jennifer Lynn Guymer. Maureen Teresa Gimple, who is also receiving the LLM degree. And Rob Gibbons. Alex Good. Douglas Robert Gooding. Maurice Oliver Green. Lady Alex Green. Melinda K. Greer. Sarah Suzanne Grossman. Kenneth August Zuckenberger. John Richard Idrich. Anne Cunningham Harper, who is also receiving the LLM degree. Kyle Warner. Bethany Louise Hogan. Wendy Poe. John Austin Houlihan. Victor F. Hyman. Ann P. Jamison. Abby M. Jarrett. Karen Beth Johnson. Matthew Johnson. Rita Warren Eric Victor LaBrue. Thomas Henry Leslie. Huey Lewis. Ellen L. Marks. Suhail Amin Nazani. Makoto Okui. Kashmir Mutual. Alexander Todd-Evans. Hitoshi Sato. Joe M. Stoller. Yurai Strasser. Hiloko Tanaka. Masayuki Toda. Natalie Oberst. Shabir Lucario. Thomas K. Hollander. Helen Mons Digger. Ralph Heiser. We do not bring in an outside public speaker on these occasions. Rather, we have continued the tradition of remarks at our diploma ceremony, but limited to participants, to students in the third year class or members of the faculty. In this way, we note on our last formal occasion the very close personal community that we have in our law school. And we honor the graduating class by having remarks made by someone on the faculty who has been honored by them for his or her outstanding teaching. And also, the class itself had the opportunity to shape its own graduation by selecting the student member of the class whom it most wants to hear on this occasion. In this spirit, I first introduced Paul Wiedenheimer, a member of the class of 1992, and this year's president of the Duke Bar Association. I welcome Paul to the podium to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Dean. I have the great honor today of introducing the recipient of the Duke Bar Association's Distinguished Teacher Award and today's main speaker. Before I do that, though, I just want to say a few words, and I hope not too long. First of all, in a shameless attempt to win over what's probably about a third of this crowd, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the crowd. If there are any fathers out there that have had the privilege of paying for this education over the last 3 years, 7 years, 1 year, whatever it may be, I think we should probably say Happy Father's Day to you folks. Now, for all of you folks that are graduating today, congratulations and good luck for whatever is coming your way. That there are a lot of emotions out there. I don't want to mention Pancho's name, but my roommate may have set a record this morning for having tears in his eyes within about 15 minutes of getting up out of bed today. Now, others may not be quite so sad to leave this place behind. But regardless, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the entire student body here at the law school, and particularly those that are staying behind for another couple of years, to say thank you to the graduating class for all that you've given to this law school. It's an amazingly talented group of people that came up onto the stage to receive their diplomas today. You folks should be proud of yourselves not only for what you've done inside the classroom, but also for having maintained a sense of social contact context and a commitment to the other people that are around you during this time here. We'll miss you next year. We hope you'll come back often. Now, it's my privilege to introduce today's main speaker. Visiting Professor W.H. Joe Knight, Jr. started out his career with a serious disadvantage. He graduated from UNC. Things have improved since then, though. And we've all had the benefit of his experiences during this past year. Professor Knight received his J.D. from Columbia University, where he was the comments editor in the Columbia Human Rights Review. After graduation, he served as associate counsel for 4 years at Colonial Bancorp, Colonial Bank in Waterbury, Connecticut. For his final 2 years there, he also served as an adjunct professor at the University of Bridgeport's Law School. In 1983, Professor Knight joined the law faculty at the University of Iowa, where in 1988 he was made a full professor. He's worked and taught in the areas of commercial, debtor-creditor, banking, and contract law. This semester at Duke, he's received rave reviews in co-teaching a banking class and also in tackling a first-year contracts class. On top of a wide range of publications and other involvements, he belongs to the American Bar Association, the National Bar Association, the National Conference of Black Lawyers, the Society of American Law Teachers, the American and Iowa Civil Liberties Unions, the Lawyers Alliance for Nuclear Arms Control. Once again, I want to say congratulations and good luck to each one of you. And it's my great honor to introduce to you a man that we hope will be back here in the not-too-distant future, Professor W.H. Joe Knight, Jr.
Entire semester that I spent here at Duke. From the outset, I must admit that I am a three-H'er. One, I am honored to have been selected as a distinguished teacher. Two, I am very happy and proud to be able to celebrate with you, the graduates, your families, and friends, your official entrance into the profession of law. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, I must tell you that I am absolutely horrified by the prospect of my having to speak to you today. I am afraid because, unlike either a student speaker or a non-visiting faculty speaker, I cannot stand before you today, recall, and perhaps even parody the events of your past 3 years. I cannot reminisce about your developments from dreamy-eyed first-year law students to the steel-eyed calculating lawyers that you now have become. Since I am neither an administrator nor a famous person, I also have not had the occasion to sharpen my oratorical skills through numerous speaking engagements. So I am indeed scared to death to stand before you today. I have worried, I have agonized about this moment. What, if anything, could I say to you that would be meaningful on this special day? As one friend of mine told me, it doesn't matter what you say, so long as you say it briefly. I rode on the plane. I attended my Iowa graduation yesterday afternoon, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson spoke at our commencement. And I rode back on the plane with Reverend Jackson to Chicago, and I kept trying to persuade him, give me that speech. And Reverend Jackson, he told me he would not give me the speech. And so I'm stuck here with trying to give you, in a brief time, a few comments about the law, about your accomplishments, and about what I think you will expect in the future, or should come to expect in the future. Now, most commencement speakers talk grandly about your achievements and those that are yet to come. I too want to speak of those things, but from a slightly different perspective. This afternoon, I want to borrow from the author Hunter S. Thompson the topic for my talk: fear and loathing in Lawyerland. First, a bit about fear. All of us have fears. For the most part, these apprehensions stem from ignorance and unfamiliarity. We don't know what to expect from a certain unknown situation. We often don't even know how to prepare to address that unknown. For those of you in today's graduating class, there are many law-related unknowns awaiting you. From the bar exam, and some of you had to take my exams, yes, the bar exam is the experience that is worse than my final examination. To your first days in practice, and the sense of, will I ever get anything right? To that inevitable, yes, inevitable first negative assessment or chewing out by another lawyer. And this happens to everyone who ever practiced. Each of you from these moments will be forced to confront unknowns. Each of you will be forced to address your own fears. It is how we confront those fears that is important. If we are petrified by that fear, we never reach anything of importance. Ideals like fairness, justice, equal opportunity will always be outside our grasp if we are so afraid of failure that we don't even try. A fulfilled professional life means encountering your fears by running the risk of failure. Each of us must seize the moments that are given to us. We must seize them not with apprehension, but with a resolve. When I arrive in class every single semester, I am filled with anxiety. How will I be received? Will my own vision of law and my own brand of academic provocation succeed in challenging students as well as myself? Will my references to race or to gender, in conjunction with the subject matter, encourage greater understanding of the variety of views on a legal subject? Or will such comments squelch any hope for a dialogue? I interpret my selection for this teaching honor as an indication that some of my fears did not come to pass this semester because I met them with a certain resolve. Somehow, I managed to connect with some of you and some of your colleagues in this law school. That together, we were able to challenge ourselves into thinking about, and in some small way, to demystifying small aspects of the law. I also take this award to mean more than the subject matter, more than issues perhaps on race, more than issues perhaps on gender, more than my being a Tar Heel in Blue Devil country. I take this honor to mean that some of you saw and appreciated my attempts to bring some warmth, some humor, and some humanity into the classroom. And this is the real point of my remarks, that we can confront our fears by giving of ourselves and by caring personally about what you do in the profession. Don't succumb to the automaton-like behavior of many of us who already practice law. Today, we acknowledge your special skills as attorneys. In the process of acquiring and developing these skills, some of you may have become jaded and cynical. You may see the law as nothing more than a tool to advance your particular cause. You know how to, and many of you often will, argue any side of the case. To many non-lawyers, this ability without something more has led them to loathe the legal profession. 80+ years ago, Roscoe Pound described the legal profession as the pursuit of a learned art in the spirit of public service. As you commence another aspect of your professional lives today, I urge you to keep in mind that you have a responsibility not only to care about your client's legal needs, but also to care about the overall public good. The profession of lawyer is first and foremost about caring for people, one individual at a time. Your legal training and skills automatically make you leaders, but it is your caring acts and contributions to all of the people that you meet that make you members of the community of conscience that makes ours a great profession. Yesterday, Reverend Jackson spoke to the law graduates at Iowa, and he talked about preparing for a life of service. He exhorted those young lawyers to champion the law by contributing more than their substantial legal analytical skills. It is more important that each of us give something more than our legal training. Give of your time and your energies. Give some of your compassion as you go forth and practice law. I'd like to thank the Duke Law students saw in me this semester a quality of concern about each of you, both inside and outside the classroom. Even if you didn't see those things in me, I urge you to seek them in your own lives. Personal involvement and contribution help us deal with that hobgoblin we call fear. They help us convert society's loathing of lawyers into a greater respect for the profession. And I hope that by giving more than just your legal selves, we can make this a better world for all of us. Thank you for this honor. Congratulations on your accomplishments, and may your future be worthy of your dreams.
The members of the graduating class elected a classmate to address them on this occasion, and I welcome to the podium their choice, Maurice Green.
To Dean Gay, Dean Mosteller, to distinguished faculty and administration, family and friends of the graduates, and to the graduating class of the law school for the year 1991, I bid you a pleasant good afternoon. Again, my name is Maurice Green. Please do call me Mo. I'm extremely humbled by the graduates' request that I be the 1991 graduate commencement, same thing, speaker. Not often does one get the opportunity to address such a fine gathering of people on a day which is special to all in attendance. Before proceeding with my comments, however, I would like to take this time to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in attendance. Happy Mother's Day. In particular, however, I would like to say Happy Mother's Day to a special woman who up to this point didn't know that her baby son was going to be the commencement speaker. Surprise and Happy Mother's Day. Duke University School of Law utilizes as its emblem the scales of justice. For me, the scales represent the delicate balance between the just parts of our society and the unjust sectors that permeate throughout. Normally, one can find the scales dramatically presented on courthouse facades, on the cover of Laura Lee publications, or even on t-shirts sold at Duke Law School. Today, however, I would like for you to imagine that those scales are representative of something totally different. I would like for you to conjure up in your mind that the scales represent and are physical manifestations of the graduating class's individual and collective lives. The weights which are to be placed on each scale are as follows. On the first scale will be placed our professional lives. That is both as law students and now as lawyers. Set against this on the other side of the scale is our private, personal lives. These scales, just as the scales of justice, must be in harmony for a successful existence. Well, now, as law students, we've done a tremendous job of not allowing the scales to tip too heavily to one side or the other. Sure, now, on the professional side, we have grappled with complex factual situations. We have pondered and questioned the difficult questions of law. We have dealt with the arcane principles of law. We have dissected the Constitution. Ah, yes, I can even visualize Mr. Garrett Epps now. His hand would be raised, his arm held high, hand raised. The professor would act like he didn't see Garrett. Garrett would continue to keep his hand raised. And finally, when the professor acknowledged Garrett's obvious presence, Garrett would not only ask or answer a question, Garrett would proceed to tell us about the theory of the case, the background of the case, the surrounding circumstances of the case, his complete understanding of the rudimentary and complex issues of the case. Yes, we love you, Garrett Epps. We struggled with you in the law. We struggled with the rigors of the law, perhaps out of fear of being called on and not being totally prepared. I certainly can remember vividly some of my classmates being intimidated by professors. Well, of course, none of the graduates will admit that now. We're above that. But just as say, why, my roommate, Sproul Drive. Sproul was called on in Professor Beal's criminal law class. Now, Sproul never missed a day of class, but he wasn't in attendance on that day. Well, just suffice it to say that Sproul spent most of that night studying criminal law in the basement library for the eventuality of being called on in class again. Well, Sproul spent a solid week of being called on in class by Professor Beal and a solid week of asking me, do you think she's coming back to me again, Mo? Or I can remember Professor Cup holding class and calling on a Miss Ann Harper. Ann responded very politely that day that she wasn't prepared for class and would love to pass that day. Professor Cup responded by saying, that's okay, Miss Harper. This class, the class and I will wait while you read the materials for day in class. So there we were waiting. She's reading, Professor Cup waiting. Tell me that we weren't intimidated sometimes by professors in the law school. However, we managed to temper the rigors of the law by creating an atmosphere conducive to having a good time. We struggled, but we managed to put just a few weights on the other scale, that being our personal life. Let's see, we had cookouts, ball and brew outings, cocktail parties, floor days, cheering on Duke basketball, wedding showers, baby showers, Super Bowl parties, golf tournaments, intramural sports, Durham Bulls, baseball games, you name it, we did it. Oh yes, there's Bill Fox, of course. today, Bill is a man who had perfect attendance on the basketball court during his tenure at Duke. I guess he's out there playing again today. There's Pam Law. She was always planning some fun activity for us. I kind of consider Pam to be our cruise director on the law school love boat. Then there's Darrell Grossinger and Brian Snyder. You know them. Even the ones of you who are not directly associated with the law school. They are the ones the cameras zoom in on at every Duke home basketball game. Then there's Cheryl Oliver. Now Cheryl, you could ask Cheryl on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. Well, Cheryl, now what are you doing tonight? The same response would be in her rich Southern accent. Well, I'm going to party in Chapel Hill tonight. You want to come along? Then there's Tamara Woolfolk, Iris Carter, and Trent Lane, some of our frequent flyers at the law school. A typical conversation with one of them would include the following. Well, this month, now mind you, this is a month while school is still in session. This month I'm going to the Bahamas, Cancun, California, the Greek party in Philadelphia, or Las Vegas. And then I guess I'll need to take a month or so to recuperate before starting to study for classes. Yes, I must reiterate that the scales were in balance while in law school. Likewise, we as lawyers must continue to strive to keep our lives in harmony. On the one scale, we must be able to find time to enjoy our existence. As many of us gear up for the 2,000+ billable hours, remember that there needs to be an abundance of time spent with your loved ones also. As we work long hours to have money to pay off loans, buy homes, etc., take time out to go to a party or to catch a ball game. Continue to play basketball, Bill, wherever you are. Continue to throw parties, Pam. Continue to play golf, Tony Walsh. Continue to be the best father one can be, Robert Naylor. And continue to go to parties, everyone. We certainly wouldn't want to miss a chance to see Cheryl. Likewise, we as lawyers must be able to keep sufficient weights on our professional lives. Based on our analytical skills developed in the law school, we must be cognizant of all that is around us and how much of the happenings of today are intertwined with the law. In addition to being able to recognize societal problems, we as lawyers have the primary responsibility to help seek solutions. By virtue of our degrees, we are the gatekeepers of the legal community. Therefore, it is imperative that we become front runners and grapple with issues such as competing rights of privacy of rape victims and the goals of free speech. And in a time when many groups have not been allowed to dream, much less live the American dream, merely because of the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, or their age, we must be willing to step forth and try to solve those problems and try to secure rights of the disenfranchised members of our community. We have been given the privilege of directly affecting certain problems. Let's not take that privilege lightly. Garrett continued to seek to find answers to difficult questions. Dana Lessman continued to address the issues of gender and race. Rebecca Patton continued to address the pertinent issues of race. And to all my classmates, I say in conclusion, let's be able to have compassion for those seeking justice under the law. Let's have empathy for those people that the law has denied justice. And let's have an unwavering commitment to ensuring that there is truly justice for all. Thank you.
Because it has given back so much to the law school and the university and our Durham community. In the more traditional areas of the law school, you have produced winning the court teams and brought back trophies to our trophy case. You provided superb services to our 3 older journals, and you leave your successors with no major problems. You're responsible for creating a new journal on international and comparative law, which we all celebrated in receiving last week. But you've also worked in areas that are less traditional. You've raised our sensitivities to our environment. You've cared about broadening the perspectives of our community in producing the Conference on the Frontiers of Legal Thought. You've cared about human and civil rights, and you've confronted one another in the exercise of free speech. Although you will return for class reunions every 5 years, this is truly the last time that all of the class of 1991 will be gathered together. I would ask you to pause a moment and look at the faculty, look around at your family and your friends in this great auditorium, but most of all, look around at your classmates and remember the best in one another. We salute you and we give you our warmest wishes, hail and farewell to the class of 1991.
Well, here we are at the Embassy Suites.